You know my favorites. She's not blowing that much today. So this is a brief history. This is a continuation of the brief history of the world. So when we take a look, hold on, yeah. So when you take a look at the brief history of the world, all you gotta do is just look at the monuments and look at the things that left people left behind and stuff like that. We all know everybody came from Africa. We know that to be a fact, and we know that the newest humans on Earth is the Caucasian people. So it's equivalent to having like a new baby. Usually, a new baby will usually get the most care, will get all the loving and everything else like that, and that's pertaining to the Caucasian people. So everything that the new baby does, in my opinion, should be automatically given. Should be automatically forgiven. We shouldn't hold it against them. You feel me? That's just how I see. I know a lot of people gonna get mad at me and stuff like that, but I'm just speaking from my point of view. You understand? It cannot be taken too personal. You dig? I'm not saying that they don't they don't deserve the same punishments as we do and everything else like that, but we need to take into account that the things from scientific purposes, you feel me? Because sometimes when I speak, I'm speaking from my knowledge, so I gotta break it down. Hold on. I gotta break it down so you can understand where my mind is at. The things that we're doing right now will affect mankind as the new mankind comes forward. So we knowing that Africans, any civilization that you see that has a calmness to them, it's not due to them. It's due to the civilization that came before them. So let's just say if you take a look at Africa itself, right? Africa went through the civil wars. We've been through a lot of wars and everything else like that. So when you take a look at the majority of Africans, you can see some form of calmness to them. You can see the culture and everything else in them. You can see some form of civilization to them and everything else like that. You feel me? So anybody that you see that has like a meek, even the Bible said that the world will be full of meek. That's because after time goes on and the things that we do add to our DNA, adds to the storage, just like a computer. You feel me? Everything else that you do will be recorded into your computer. So if you a person that went through a lot of civil war, if you a person that if you're a person that did a lot of good deeds and everything else, all these things are added to your archive or your hard drive. You feel me? So the generation after that, eventually after a long period of time, even if they don't know about the history and everything else, will have that kind of civilized behavior to them, that calmness to them. You feel me? That's why you see that in most Africans. Now, I'm not talking about dangerous part of Africa. We know that most of that stuff is driven by people selling weapons to them. And just like when you see the ghetto, the weapons and the drugs and everything else, we do not create none of these things. We don't manufacture drugs. We don't. Even up to this day, we don't manufacture weapons and everything else. But these things are brought in to confuse the masses and everything else like that. You understand? So that's why I said that when you look at the Caucasians and their new form of humans that came into this earth, they bound to do the same mistakes if the history of the world is not taught to most people, not all Caucasian. I'm just speaking in general. You feel me? Because there are individuals that are more angel than most individual blacks. You feel me? I'm talking about the majority, the overall picture of it and how things look. You feel me? That's all I'm talking about. So when you see a group of people from the same tribe, because we all just different tribes of people. Now, some people say the 12 tribes of Egypt and everything else like that. But I'm looking beyond that, because Egypt was like America itself. It's like Babylon, where you have different groups of people that live within that civilization or society, where a certain group of people ruled. Then, history repeats itself. The reason why history repeats itself, because we have to go through it over and over and over until it becomes a norm in the hard drive where we can override it. You feel me? So you can't hold nothing against anybody. You feel me? You really can't, because everything else is programmed. Humans are programmed in itself. So we got to go through this. And as the civilization goes on, as the human race civilization goes on, eventually we all come back to that one that we was in the beginning, and we'll be meek. We'll be civilized. We'll be pure again. So everything else that you see that is bad or good is meant to happen. You feel me? It is meant to happen. But when you take a look at America, when I really take a look at America, I be like, I know this is a new world, because it wasn't occupied before. You feel me? It wasn't. If it was occupied, then where are the ancient monuments? I can't find one. When you go into Africa, you find monuments that dates beyond the pyramids of Giza. You feel me? It dates beyond that. It dates beyond the Sphinx. It dates beyond that. We don't even know what civilization built the Sphinx. We don't even know what the face of it is, because it was destroyed. Because history is always being hidden and everything else. Because men always has to take same group of men. It doesn't matter what color it is. We'll always want to take leadership, and we'll always want to restart things over again. You feel me? And that's just what it is. Don't take everything too personal. You feel me? Because we are all the same when it comes down to it. Everything comes back to the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So everything always come back to the one. It doesn't necessarily mean that the one can be African and everything else and everything, but it's gonna come back to the melanated being, which is a carbon being, and we all carbons and everything else. But we're talking about the darker complexion of things. Because when the Europeans sailed to Africa and Asia, one of the great writers of the European civilization wrote in the book that Africa and Asia are a carbon copy of themselves. Today, that's not the case. You see, they're much lighter in Asia compared to what Africa is. So it's a big difference between the two. But when he first came across that land, he said that it was a carbon copy, which meaning that they had the same complexion. When he first came, he couldn't tell the difference between the two. He said it's a carbon copy. You can Google. Man, fella, let's do that myself. Let's get the name for y'all. So y'all know that nigga just ain't talking just to talk. And I'm going to Google and saying carbon copy. They even have a movie called Carbon Copy, and it's made in 1981. It's a film. It has a black and white guy on it. It is a carbon copy. Let's see. Let's just look at the carbon copy definition. A copy of a written or a type material made with carbon paper. Not that one. I'm gonna coin the term. Coin the term carbon copy. We're gonna make this shit real easy. We ain't gonna make it confusing. Coin the term carbon copy. They talking about word processor. This is what they do. They put all these things in, and you gotta go all the way down into the definition of it. And it's like if my name was Zeus, and there's so many stories about Zeus, all these definitions is gonna pop up, and the actual research that you're looking for, you have to go further in time just to find what you're looking for, because it has been diluted down. Because the term has been used, a person or a thing that's identical or very similar to another. Basically, that's what a carbon copy is. But I wanted to. All right, we're gonna go back. I'm not gonna give up yet. Hold on. I said coin. Coin. They're talking about erosion and everything else, because it plays into the. Alright, fuck it, man. Long story short, it is what it is. Asia and Africa was a carbon copy of each other. You dig? Like, they were a carbon copy of each other. But this video is gonna be short. That's about it. I'm gonna have to do more research on that term itself, and we're gonna find the what would we call it? What can I call Columbus? Columbus was what, a sailor or whatever he was. But one of those scientists or one of those people who write on the world and adventure to other parts of the world basically was the one who coined that term carbon copy. But that's all I'm saying right now for now. So this is just a continuation of the brief history of the world. This term also plays into Black history. You feel me? Still Black history and everything else going on. You dig? And that's about it. Don't take it personal. Do not take it personal. Not at all. It wasn't meant to be taken personal. It's just for educational purposes. You feel me? So don't hold me liable to the things that I've said. You feel me? All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all.